are talking all things finance for the month of June because, of course, we're heading into the end of the financial year. And whilst I've been spending a lot of time talking to my clients about whether or not they're going to put up their prices at the end of the financial year, you've been thinking about this too, or whether it's talking about how they can earn more money and grow their business in the coming financial year, it really is the theme for this month, getting our finances sorted. So today we're going to be talking about paying yourself from day one in business. So many of my coaching clients, when they come to me, are not paying themselves. They started this business perhaps as a side hustle, perhaps they're doing it whilst they're still working full time. Perhaps they jumped into the business and just went full steam ahead and thought, I'll think about that later. I'll think about the money later. And I can tell you from my perspective, when I started my business, it was exactly that for me. I was like, I don't mind what I earn. I don't mind what we make. I just want to do what I want to do. And so let's go. And, luckily for my financially minded husband, I'm an artist. That's my excuse anyway. I say I'm an artist. I'm being creative. And he'd be like, yeah, I don't care about any of that. How much money are you making? So it was really nice to have that gentle reflection, perhaps not so gentle sometimes, about the importance of, yes, I can be creative. I can be an artist. I can deliver my product or service. But ultimately, at the end of the day, my business also needs to make money. And so I'll tell you the story about what happened to me and how I got to paying myself more in my business. In the beginning, I was just taking money out when I needed it. So it was very much if at the end of the month there was money there and I wanted to, buy a new pair of shoes, off I went. There was no strategic plan around it. I still had my full-time job, so I was still earning my full-time salary. And so I just was, just humming along, working my butt off, but not really thinking too much about the finances and what was coming in and what was going out. And I tell you this because we got to pretty much the third year of my business, like the year 3 plus 1 day. And my husband came to me and said, okay, where's the money? And I was like, sorry, what now? And he said, most businesses take 3 years to start turning a profit. So where's the money? And I was like, huh? The whole time he had been thinking for those 3 years, she's in the beginning days, she's just starting up. But in year 3, there'll be, money that we can see. And I hadn't thought about any of that. I was just happily, going along, buying new tutus, putting a lot of money back into the business because I wanted new sparkly things and I wanted the kids to have new opportunities. And I just wanted to grow and to make it bigger and better and, to really set ourselves up and set our brand up as being something that was unique and different in the marketplace. But he was not. He was thinking, okay, at the end of, on the 3-year mark, I'm going to be able to see something. And he was, and I say this with inverted commas, but he was saying contributing to the family. What's this business contributing to the family? And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, whoa. Okay. And then I had to really sit down and really think, okay, how is this going to happen? And it was at that point, after I realized that I couldn't just, keep throwing money back into the business for all of the hard work I was doing, for all of the hours. We had Lucinda by this stage as well. So, expenses in terms of childcare and just expenses in general had gone up. And so we really needed to have a family discussion about expectations. It was Heath's expectation that I would be, taking home a salary that matched the hours that I was working. And it was my expectation that I would just do this for free forever because I loved it and it was my passion. So we really had to find a middle ground. And so today I really want to talk about paying yourself from day one in the business, because if I had my time again, that's absolutely what I would have done. And that's for a number of reasons. First and foremost, when you have a strategic plan around your finances, then you're aware of it. It's kind of like if you, out of sight, out of mind. And for me, it was out of sight, out of mind. I wasn't looking at money coming into my bank account every month. And so I wasn't even thinking about it. But I would be paying myself from day one if I had my time again, because it would give me the kick up the pants I needed to actually become financially responsible for my business. And not just financially responsible once Heath said, hey, where's the money? And once I'd left my full-time job, because then it was like danger zone. It was like, oh my gosh, how are we going to make this work? And I understood his, frustration when we got to that point, because I was like, oh, right. dance had always been something that I loved and had always been a passion of mine. And so I didn't always link it directly to financial gain. And so that was a re-education for me. So no matter what your business is, setting yourself up by paying yourself from day one is important, because you want to be able to have something to show. And it doesn't matter if it's $10 a week or whether it's $10,000 a week. You want to have something to show for all the effort and time and energy that you're putting in. Because what I found was I got to the end of those 3 years and I was burnt out. I was exhausted. I was trying to raise a newborn/toddler at that stage. And all of the little things in the business that I used to kind of just woosah and be totally fine with were really starting to grind on me. And I was like, why am I getting so ticked off so easily? And it was because I couldn't see what all this hard work was. There was no financial payoff. And honestly, that's what I needed at that time. I'd run out of passion. I'd run out of energy. I'd run out of adrenaline, that adrenaline that you get where you can work till, I used to work till 1 a.m. in the morning and then get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to my day job. And I was fine with it because the adrenaline was pumping. But when that runs out, you want to be able to have something to sustain you. And that consistent pay and that consistent contribution to the family is something that, if you set it up from day one, will make you go, oh, okay, yes, it is hard work. Yes, these things are difficult, but I am, it's all worth it because I'm able to see this contribution. So there is a big difference between paying yourself and just taking home some of the profit. If you are just taking money out of the business when you feel like it, when you need it, when a bill comes in, when you see a new pair of shoes, that's not strategic. There's no plan around that. It's also a bit of a nightmare for your accountant and a bit of a nightmare for your bookkeeper, because it's like, there's no consistency to this. That's also not going to give you the peace of mind that you want at 4 o'clock in the morning when you are going, how am I going to pay the next bill? Or how am I going to make the next part of the business work? How am I going to step to the next level? You want to have that consistency so that you know exactly what's happening with your cash flow, because cash is king in business. So I encourage you, and I said before, it could be $10 a week, it could be $10,000 a week, whatever suits your business. $1,000 a week would be nice though. Let's be honest. Whatever suits your business, start putting in place a process to pay yourself and go through the official channels and sign yourself up as an employee or whatever you need to do. You get this advice from your accountant, of course, and make that consistent. So whether it's consistent drawings or it's consistent wages that are being processed, and, where possible, make it wages. Again, check with your accountant, but you want to be paying yourself superannuation. You don't want to go a few years, like I did, without paying superannuation just because you were kind of just taking money here and there. You want that consistency. And especially if you're going to look back in 20 years' time, you're going to miss those years that you, weren't kind to yourself when it comes to looking after your future. So find a system, get a system in place, put yourself on the payroll, make it just part and parcel of what happens every week, every fortnight, every month, depending on what it works in your business. But make sure that that money is going aside. I don't care if it's $10 or more. Just having that money and putting it aside will give you an incredible sense of authority, give you an incredible sense of achievement. And at the end of the day, it's you looking after yourself. It's self-care and self-preservation, because a business is not going to have longevity if the leader, the owner, the founder, you, the person that has all the spirit, if you are burnt out and you don't want to do any of this anymore, it's not going to last. So if for no other reason than you thinking about the longevity and the growth of your business, start paying yourself regularly so that you can start that process now. And then when push comes to shove, you'll feel a whole lot better. Trust me. So 2024, by the time we get to the end of the next financial year and you've been taking home a regular wage from the day that you listen to this up until then, can you imagine what you could do with those funds if you put them aside? Can you imagine what the feeling will be like inside you? And just close your eyes and, put your hand on your chest and imagine that feeling of being able to open that bank account and either see that amount, to know that on a rainy day, the money was there if you needed it for business or for your personal life. And to just know that all of that hard work has, you have something tangible, something that you can actually look at, something that you can point to and say, yes, it has been hard. Yes, the hours have been long. Yes, I've made so many sacrifices, but it was worth it because of this. I really want that for you. I really want that peace of mind for you. I really want that understanding of, the payoff for all of this hard work that you're doing. Just because you are in your own business doesn't mean that you don't deserve to earn money. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve to earn a wage. It doesn't mean that you deserve to earn less than people who are in a job and working for other people. It doesn't mean you need to earn less than the people that are around you on your team. That's a whole other podcast episode in terms of self-worth, but we'll leave it there for now. I encourage you to take some steps today as you're listening to this, that if you are putting money aside already, perhaps you heading into the new financial year are able to look at making that more. Perhaps you want to put more in your superannuation. Perhaps you want to do some financial planning. Now is the time to do it. Book those appointments. Write that on your to-do list. Make a calendar appointment with yourself on Financial Friday to take yourself out for an hour, get a nice coffee, and really have a look at your finances and have a look at what you can manage and what you want to manage heading into the new financial year. And if you want to get your finances sorted and earn the salary you deserve, then join me for my end of financial year webinar happening Tuesday, June the 13th. It's going to happen at 7:30 p.m., but you must register. You can register now at simplystacymorgan.com. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and I will talk to you next week.